Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an exciting afternoon so far here at CCBC Essex. It was a little bit of an adventure getting into the game today. And we are finally here, though, and ready to bring you some men's soccer action. These two programs, Brookdale Community College and CCBC Essex, their women's teams went head-to-head yesterday, ended in a 1-1 draw. Let's see what the men have in store for us here on Sunday. And I speak for all the Ravens fans out there in Baltimore that I hope this game's a lot better than the one that you've been watching so far this morning. Ravens not faring too well over across the pond. I'm Aaron Thomas. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Thank you for joining us all season long. It's been an exciting season of soccer here at CCBC Essex. It's only going to continue to get more exciting as things head on and heat on up as we get into the later and middle stages of the season. I'm going to toss things over to our PA announcer momentarily for the starting lineups. The Brookdale Jersey Blues against the CCBC Essex Knights. Just moments away.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to introduce you to the game starters, beginning with our visitors from Brookdale. Forward, number 3, Willie Jean Vilma. Forward, number 7, Isiah Ludic. Midfield, number 10, Conor Hanson. Defense, number 12, Bret Easton. Midfield, number 17, Max Lane. Midfield, number 18, Demedius Caban. Defense, number 19, Conor Crosby. Defense, number 20, Luis Araha. Midfield, number 22, Seth Otino. Defense, number 27, Sergio Pereira. And starting in goal for the Jersey Blues, number 1, Matt Rebeaud. The Jersey Blues are led by head coach Tom Rafferty, who is assisted by Brad Fraley. And now the starting lineups for your CCBC Essex Knights. Midfield, number 3, Carlos Guzman Hernandez. Midfield, number 6, Varma Sirian. Midfield, number 9, Noah Shade. Midfield, number 10, Gage Robinson. Defense, number 16, John Asaro. Defense, number 19, Brian Roni. Midfield, number 20, Tangwa Aka. Midfield, number 24, Seth Walter. Defense, number 25, Jake Dangler. Defense, number 27, Trent Hoffmeister. And starting in goal for the Knights, number 0, Dylan Guarnier. The Knights are led by head coach Joe Fiedler, who is assisted by Jason Rims, Tim Fiedler, and Tyler Farrell. At this time, we ask all that are able to please rise and remove your hats as we honor America and the men and women of the armed forces with the Star-Spangled Banner. Ladies and gentlemen, here at CCBC Essex, we embody the spirit of sportsmanship because it is an important component of being a student athlete. We ask that you please refrain from the use of profanity and let all spectators remain positive and cheering for their favorite team. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knights would like to take this opportunity to thank the following sponsors: MedStar Sports Medicine, the official training partner of CCBC Athletics; the Hilton Garden Inn and Hampton Inn of Baltimore, White Marsh, Maryland; Madison Bank of Maryland, proud supporter of CCBC Essex Athletics. Visit wbofmd.com to learn more. And finally, the CCBC Associate of Applied Science Digital Media Productions Department, the official broadcast partner of CCBC Athletics.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have met the starting lineups. You've heard the entire pregame spiel, and now it is time to start men's soccer action here at CCBC Essex, the Coliseum. The fans starting to file in as the game is starting to get ahead of us. We are going to now look at the numbers for the season for the two teams. The Jersey Blues coming into the Coliseum, 16 goals on the year, averaging just under 3 goals per game, 2.67 goals per game, 8 shots on goal per game. And now a look on the Knights. They are, well, their numbers are much higher than the Jersey Blues in the goals department. 29 goals on the season, just over 4 goals per game, 4.14 goals, and 18 shots per game on the season. The Knights only allowing 1 goal per game. The Jersey Blues averaging almost 3 goals letting in per contest. So this could be a lopsided affair, that is for sure. The Knights definitely, we had point spread at this level. If there was gambling, which there may be, I don't know. I'd be surprised. But if there was gambling at this level, I think the point spread would definitely favor the Knights. That's for sure. They seem to be the overpowered team. But any given Sunday, I'm sure no one thought the Jaguars would be up 44-0 on the Ravens right now in that game. So anything could happen. Knights, a very, very good, solid defensive team. Switching goalie usually in between the pipes. Number 33, Kyle Cooper, in between the pipes. This afternoon. Number 0, Dylan Guarnio. He's had some experience here this year. He pitched a shutout for the Knights at some point this year, I remember. So he does have some experience, but he's not the normal starter in goal for the Knights. A couple other players not normally in the starting lineups for the Knights in the starting lineup this afternoon. Number 6, Varma Sirian, usually is a player who comes off the bench for the Knights. Usually one of the top players off the bench, one of the first or second, but not usually in the starting lineups, getting a chance to show Coach Fiedler what he has in store. Same thing with number 19, Brian Roni. He's usually the second or third player coming off the bench for the Knights here this afternoon. He's in the starting lineup. Noah Shade is a final player that is not usually in the starting lineup, but does find himself there this afternoon. So an opportunity for them to prove something to the head coach. Maybe this won't be their last time in the starting lineups, depending on how their performance goes this afternoon. Performance for the Knights. Early opportunity to show what kind of performance they're going to have here, as they have an opportunity. John Asaro, far sideline with a throw-in. Plays it over to Walter, who plays it over to Dangler. Dangler plays it in the middle into the box. Guzman Hernandez is there. He wasn't offsides. I was fully anticipating the offsides whistle, but the referee saying he was even. Guzman Hernandez found himself in goal-scoring range very early in this contest. Tried to turn and shoot, just wasn't accurate with it. Missed opportunity. But when the Knights come in averaging 18 shots on goal, 8. Let's double check that, make sure that is correct. Yes, 18 shots per game. Not 18 shots per on goal per game, just 18 shots per game. That would be an incredible number. But when they come in averaging 18 shots a game, you know that the firepower is coming early and often. There was a play up the far sideline by John Asaro. Tried to play it up to Noah Shade, couldn't. And he finds himself with the ball once again. This time he plays it over to Walter, now on the Dangler on the near sideline. Dangler over to Aka. Aka now finds himself in the starting lineup for the second game in a row. Brian Roni. Aka trying with the flick on the heel, but was unsuccessful. But Gage Robinson bails him out. Robinson playing into the middle. Passes it over to Asaro. That was a great cross. Switching fields there. One-touch shot just misses. Trent Hoffmeister there. Puts it so close to goal there. Goalkeeper Matt Rebeaud having to go out with the full extension dive there just to be safe. Picture-perfect soccer there between the Knights. First, a long pass by Gage Robinson, which I thought was going to find Noah Shade, but Shade just let it go through him, find it to Asaro. Asaro tried to put it into the box, and there is a tricky play. Sirion not giving up on it until the goalie has both hands on it. It was a smart play, as it looked like it may have trickled past him, get into a goal-scoring range. The Knights keeping the pressure on. Hoffmeister. Always see that number 27 jersey around the ball. No matter if it's in the offensive zone, in the defensive zone, or around the midfield line, just seems to see that number 27 jersey around the ball at all times when you're watching the Knights play. Smart player. Had a goal in their last game on Friday. You know, he's thinking about putting together a little streak here, maybe 2 goals in a row. There was a missed opportunity offensively for the Knights. They had numbers, but just couldn't do anything with it. Luckily, the midfield was able to regroup, steal it back. Speaking of Hoffmeister, here he is with the ball. Plays it over to Asaro, far sideline. Now up to Shade. Still working on that far sideline. Shade puts it into the middle of the box, but nothing but Jersey Blues players around it. Able to get rid of it, clear it out, but only for a second. Now Gage Robinson in the middle to Guzman Hernandez. He's going to I thought he was going to try and turn and shoot. He may have, but he had the feet taken out from underneath of him by a not-so-clean slide tackle. No card is issued. Still in the early parts of this game, but a play that the referee is going to be looking out for, I'm sure. And here is a play that the Jersey Blues goalkeeper has to look out for sure is number 25, Jake Dangler, is going to take this kick, and he does have a free kick goal to his name already in the early part of this season. He is a player who can grip it and rip it, so to speak. Here he comes. He's going for goal, and it goes off the top crossbar and goes over. It was kill or be killed there, and that was a big, powerful shot there from Dangler. Almost put that into the back of the net. Some early opportunities at goal. And here's another opportunity after a bad goal kick. Here's Guzman Hernandez. Turn. He's on the left foot. Wants to put it onto the right. Good recovery here from the Jersey Blues defense, but almost Sirian and Gage Robinson both there. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication. I think Sirian may have thought he was going to go after it, but Gage Robinson thought he was going to go after it, but neither of them are able to make anything happen. And Jersey Blues goalkeeper could not afford to have another miss hit there on the goal kick. He gave that one directly to Guzman Hernandez, and he was almost able to bury that into the back of the net. You get one-on-one breakaways like that, more times than not, the other team's going to be able to put that into the back of the net. Game of hot potato. Neither team knew where the ball was. Neither team could control it. Now Isiah on the far sideline. Up to Shade. Shade's got a slide to try and control that. Didn't do a good job of either. Luckily, Hoffmeister's there for the steal at the midfield line. This Knights team so strong at the midfield defensively. So many turnovers at that midfield line. And the defensive line, the defensive backs, they move as a unit. Quickly interrupted there as Guzman Hernandez almost got a pass and goal scoring. Good recovery defense there by the Jersey Blues, able to put that away. As I was saying before, the defensive backs for the Knights, they move as a unit, as a line all the time. So, you know, even when the Jersey Blues get that ball and they have a transition, the defensive backs are right there, right near or at the midfield line to try and put a stop to the transition before it really goes. Here's Walter, long throw. Remember, he's got the two cannons. Dangler's there. Oh, he almost put it into the back of the net. That's the second shot of the game by Dangler that's hit the top post. And a smart play once again there by Dangler after the missed shot. He got that ball on the head ball once again, this time realizing too far out for the shot. He placed it with the head over to his teammate, who he tried to put it into the back of the net, and he was unsuccessful. But a very good offensive possession for the Knights there, one that can get the momentum really turning in your favor. This is a game that looks like maybe in the Knights' good graces early. You know, the Knights like to get out early. Remember last week they laid an 11-0 beatdown on a poor, unsuspecting team. Could the Jersey Blues be in store for that? I'm not sure. I don't think so, because the Jersey Blues defense, even though the offense hasn't been there, Jersey Blues defense, very good. The Knights have had some opportunities, but for the amount of time that they've possessed this ball, they probably should have more opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, here's Sirian dribbling around the entire team, goes through two players, finally passes it off into Aka, and that is a long cross that couldn't find a teammate, but it does end up getting played out of bounds by the Jersey Blues. Now a throw-in, and you know who's going to take this throw-in for the Knights. It's no surprise, Mr. Seth Walter, the man who's got the two cannons for arms. He's going to try and play this right in the middle. Dangler is right there. He's working hard, and the goalie comes off of his line and makes the save. Has to make a save twice, as he got the hands on it initially but wasn't able to catch it. The ball was bouncing around there, and the goalie was able to come in the second time and catch it. Finally make the save. Jersey Blues making a living, staying in the danger zone this afternoon. You can keep a game close staying in the danger zone, but you can't win a game staying in the danger zone. You've got to get some offensive opportunities, and there was a hard hit there taken by Noah Shade. Good sportsmanship, though, as the Jersey Blues player helped him up after giving him the licking. And there's a foul on Gage Robinson. He's trying to plead his case with the referee, but he didn't plead it very much because I think even he knew that was a blatant call. Going to get the hands wrapped around the other team's player like that, you're going to get called for it every time. Here's a free kick 5 yards in front of the midfield line. Is not a good kick. Is Trent Hoffmeister the only one there to put a body on it? Hoffmeister plays it up to Guzman Hernandez. Sirian over to Roni. Roni slowing it down now after the good recovery defense by the Jersey Blues. Plays it up to Gage Robinson, who somehow still has control of that and is able to get a pass off into the middle. That is cleared out by the Jersey Blues. Akai over to Dangler. Dangler now over to Walter. Trying to slow things down, wait for something to open up. This Knights team can attack in so many different ways. Long passes, short, quick passes. Can have a couple different players that you can put the ball on their foot and have them dribble through a couple players on the opposing team. So this Knights team, one of those offensive units, really not interested in pressing the issue. They're just going to give what the defense, they're just going to take what the defense gives them. And here, Dangler, trying to go through a couple players, finally realizes that wasn't going to work out for him. Gives it over to Akai. Gives it right back to Dangler. Dangler tried to put himself into a scoring position there, but just missed. Dribbled that ball a little bit too far out in front of him. Gave the Jersey Blues an opportunity to clear it away. Gage Robinson up to Guzman Hernandez. Over to Sirian. Sirian, good flick back to Guzman Hernandez, but a better recovery by the Jersey Blues. Man, without that good recovery defense by the midfielder on the Jersey Blues, Guzman Hernandez was coming in, and he was ready to shoot that ball. One-touch shot after the flick behind by Sirian. That was a good scoring opportunity that was stopped by the Jersey Blues. After the whistle on the Knights, Jersey Blues taking control, but not for long as they turn it right back over. Asaro, far sideline with the throw-in, over to Walter. Now going from the far sideline to the near sideline. Dangler, long pass up to Roni. Roni's here on the near sideline. He plays it up to Guzman Hernandez, and he's offsides. Hernandez isn't even going to chase after it. He looked over and saw the flag up in the air and knew that the play was over before it ever even started. Missed opportunity for the Knights. They've had so many opportunities here in this game, so missing a few opportunities like that you don't think is going to come back to haunt you, but the longer this game continues to go 0-0, the longer the Knights allow the Jersey Blues to hang around in this game, missed opportunities will come back to haunt you. Jersey Blues still desperately searching for that first legitimate offensive opportunity. They've gotten the ball across the midfield line a few times, but nothing to write home about here offensively for them. Like I said, these two programs' women's teams went head-to-head yesterday, and in that game, we finished the first 45 tied at 1-1. We finished the second 45 also tied at 1-1, went into overtimes, played a 10-minute period of overtime that ended in a 1-1 draw, and then a second 10-minute period of overtime that ended in a 1-1 draw as well. So not a lot of scoring yesterday. Could we be in a store for another game like that here this afternoon? Let's see. The Knights want to make sure that doesn't happen. Ryan Roni working hard on the near sideline. Man, Sirian just got so wide open working without the ball. He was in the middle of the field, ran all the way up to the near sideline, calling for the ball, got it. Just wasn't able to do anything with it once he did get it. Once again, the Knights just doing a great job of stealing that ball at the midfield. The Jersey Blues had that ball for a second. I believe that was Luis Araha who had the ball, but quickly Noah Shade just came out of nowhere from behind him, gave him a good standing tackle, took the ball away from him, and now the Knights with another offensive possession. We've played 15 minutes here in this first half. The score still remains at 0-0, but the shots for the Knights are there. Shots for the Jersey Blues, not so much. There's shots on goal for the Knights, 4. Shots in general, 6. You're looking at the shots and shots on goal for the Jersey Blues. Big old goose egg. I want to thank the live stats team here at CCBC Essex. Do such a great job. Everybody here, cameramen, doing a great job to bring you good, exciting men's and women's soccer contests live from the Coliseum every week. We've got a good one here this Sunday for you. Certainly a lot better than the Ravens and Jaguars game was this afternoon. Or this afternoon. That was this morning. I guess it was the afternoon over across the pond. It's probably the night. We're talking about soccer here, though. And here comes Dangler working it up towards the midfield, now onto the near sideline. Playing it up to Sirion. Bounces over his head, but he's somehow able to save that from going out of bounds. Excuse me, that's actually not Sirion. That's Rebeaud Jr. Seth Walter over to Aka. One touch pass to Dangler. Dangler wants to put this into the box. He's got a couple guys over there. Good idea by Dangler. Just wasn't able to get it over the defensive wall of the Jersey Blues. Jersey Blues offensive opportunity quickly put a stop to by Trent Hoffmeister. Good slide tackle right there in front of the midfield line. Something has got to give here this afternoon. Either the Knights are going to try and push the issue a little bit too much offensively, and they're going to find themselves out of place defensively, and that's going to give the Jersey Blues the one opportunity they need, or the Knights are eventually going to crack this game wide open. Something has got to give here this afternoon, though. That is for sure. Here's Aka trying to press the issue. He put it into the middle of the box, but once again, the cross from the Knights just unable to get over the head of the defenseman for the Jersey Blues. Played it up. Walter, he was there, but he had it stolen away. That was Caban. Here's the Jersey Blues, best offensive opportunity they've had. Hoffmeister stops it and slows it down just for a minute. Now the Jersey Blues want to slow things down. Get in a good position. Walter in the best position there for a head ball and clear it out of the danger zone momentarily. Gage Robinson over to Isiah. Isiah now with lots of space in front of him. Doesn't take advantage of it. Instead, plays the pass over to Guzman Hernandez. And a great eye there by Guzman Hernandez. He put the head ball over to Rebeaud Jr., but it was just a little bit too far out in front of him. That could have been a quick 1-2 punch there as Rebeaud Jr., if he could have fielded that pass, had a lot of space in front of him. That was the best offensive opportunity of the game so far for the Jersey Blues. Could that be a momentum starter? Let's see. Momentum still squarely on the shoulders of the Knights. As Isiah on the far sideline, he's going to be taking the throw in. Isiah, short throw to Walter. Walter boots in the air. Good defensive play there by the Jersey Blues. That was heading into the middle of the box, but they put a stop to it before it really started rolling. And here, first corner kick of the game for the Knights. They are a very, very talented team on the corner. Guzman Hernandez, usually the corner kick taker. I don't believe he's on the field right now, so it looks like Gage Robinson will take it. Gage not as experienced as Guzman Hernandez in this situation in the early part of this season. Let's see what he's got. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 10, Gage Robinson. Hands up in the air, balls up in the air, nothing coming here, but is this going to be another corner? No, it will not. Instead, it'll be a throw, but might as well be a corner when you've got Mr. number 24, Seth Walter, throwing those balls in from the far sideline. Here's Walter, long throw, going to place it in the box. Dangler's there. Dangler gets a head on it. And, saved by the post, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway as he was offsides. Clement Rebeaud Jr. there just forced the head down, and it hit the post. Man, was that close, and man, was that exciting. Offensive opportunities here in this game for the Knights. They've been there. They just haven't been able to capitalize on it. But eventually, you got to think that door is getting loose on the hinges. Maybe the Knights are going to be able to kick it down. Robert Sims in the game, seeing his first action of the afternoon, as well as Mr. Hunter Alchin. Blamo Jr., sideline, over to Asaro. Now into Dangler in the middle. He's thinking about a long pass here to Alchin. It was good, but Alchin just couldn't control it. If he would have been able to control that, he could have had an opportunity to turn and shoot, as he had some space in front of him, but it played off a little bit too far to the right. Seth Walter puts a head on that 50-50 ball, plays it over to a teammate. Now it's firmly in possession of the Knights. Hoffmeister right in front of the midfield line. Now past the midfield line. Long pass up to Navas. Is not going to get there. Hoffmeister had the right ideas. Navas seemed to have a little bit of a step on the defender, but it was just a little too far out in front. And as we approach the 20-minute mark of this first half, the score remains 0-0, even though the rest of the stat lines would have you think it would be, maybe 3-0, 4-0 Knights, because they have dominated time of possession, shots on goal, turnovers. It has been a dominating first half of play for the Knights. The scoreboard just doesn't reflect it. I once had a referee say to me, sometimes the ball just doesn't go into the back of the net for the better team. Could this be one of those afternoons? I don't know. We got 22 minutes left in the first half to see and another 45 in the second half. So still lots of soccer left to be played. A ball played up by Robert Sims, up to Edwin Navas. Somehow Navas is going to get this. And Navas, left-footed shot, is deflected by the goalie. And the cherry pick attempt at a karate kick shot on goal by Logan Funk is no good. Funk came in there almost with reckless abandonment. Almost like his... I know... He probably does. He's not related to him, but every time I see Mr. Funk's name on the lineup card, I always think to the old school wrestler Terry Funk. It always makes that's an illegal throw, as Robert Sims was well onto the onto the playing field there. And it always makes me laugh when the ref has to back the guys up to make sure they take the throw in right where it gets thrown in. It's just funny. A little timeout here. Taken. We'll take one, too. We'll be back right after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here and ready to play the final 21 minutes and change of this first half. That was a water break, mandatory water break on the field. It is a hot and humid afternoon here at the Coliseum at CCBC Essex, so mandatory water breaks, I'm sure, a couple times here in each half. I'm sure we'll see one again when we get into the later stages of this first half. Much needed break, I'm sure the coaching staff for the Jersey Blues would say. Jersey Blues really dominated there in that first half of play before the break. Let's see if head coach Brennan Fitzsimmons was able to get a good water break speech in. He's got 20 minutes to prepare a good halftime speech, and he may need one because the way the Knights are pressing here in this game, you got to think a goal here in the late stages of this first half is just inevitable. And what is inevitable is that save right there is going to find its way on a highlight reel, because that was picture perfect. Let me snap a picture of that one. That's a Facebook worthy picture. Full extension dive, gets the mitts on it, makes the save. That was a good cross, but just close enough to the line where the goalie was able to make the save. Rebeaud, goalkeeper for the Jersey Blues, has made a couple really nice saves here. Gentleman is all the way from Long Branch, New Jersey, out of Long Branch High School. The entire Jersey Blues team is made up of players from New Jersey, outside of a couple. They have some players out of Mexico and one out of Florida, and also one all the way from Egypt. So that gentleman is a long way from home. And a dangerous pass there as it was going back to the goalkeeper. The Jersey Blues defender was running out of real estate, and he wanted to play it back to his keeper, but he just didn't put enough mustard on the pass, and Edwin Navas almost came in and intercepted it. We still have a lot of subs out on the field for the Knights. Edwin Navas, Hunter Alchin, Logan Funk, Robert Sims, Clement Blamo Jr. Seeing some big playing time here in this contest, which is no surprise. That's usually the go-to unit off of the bench for the Knights. The defensemen usually don't come out of the game unless it's a game that is already in decision, that has already been decided, I meant to say. Here's Dangler trying to show the offensive ability, and a nice move to spin off of the defender, but the cross was just not very good. Dangler doesn't have to work that hard to show the offensive ability because he's got 5 goals on the season. He's a leading goal scorer for the Knights on this season so far. He does have 2 players that are right behind him, and those 2 players are, as I said, the 2 players that usually come off the bench first for the Knights, Varma Sirion and Logan Funk. Those are usually the 2 players first off the bench. Now, Sirion was in the starting lineup this afternoon. Logan Funk has found himself in the starting lineups at different points this season. He was in the starting lineup when we first started the season. Now, usually the first forward off the bench for the Knights. So important to have that second unit coming off the bench here at this level. Get some fresh legs in there, have a couple specialty guys in, maybe a defensive midfielder specialist, or maybe a forward specialist who specializes in the free kicks or corner kicks. That second unit, so important at this level. Depth, so important at any level for any soccer team, or really any sports team. The Baltimore Orioles, an obvious reason for that. They didn't have much depth this year, and that's why they won't be playing October baseball this year. Depth, so important, and the Knights have that. Jersey Blues have that as well. They haven't gone to their bench as much here in this game, but they do have some players on that bench, a healthy sized roster for them, so that definitely will help as this game continues to be scoreless. And another good save there by the goalkeeper, Rebeaud. Let's go to the stat line to see how many saves he has here in this game. 4 saves. And I think that is a little out of date. Let's refresh that because I think he's got a couple more than 4 saves. I think he's got 4 saves since the water break, honestly. Actually, he had 5, so wasn't far off. Here's Dangler. Onto the far sideline to Isiah. Isiah carrying it. Don't see much of him in the offensive zone. He usually stays put on his defensive line. Had an angle there, tried to take advantage of it, just wasn't successful. Here's Hofmeister, who took Isaiah's spot on the defensive line, up to Navas, and Navas was just offsides. Man, what a close opportunity. But close doesn't count for anything here this afternoon. Incredible play into the box. Edwin Navas was there, but he was just offsides. Not many offsides whistles here in this game. Carlos Guzman Hernandez had one earlier. Speaking of Guzman Hernandez, he comes back out onto the field for the Knights, and he immediately gets ahead on that ball. Heads it up to Logan Funk, up to Hunter Alchin. He had a little game of head ball. Guzman Hernandez with the head up to Logan Funk, who received the head, gave it right back to Hunter Alchin. He couldn't continue the game of head ball, though. Here's Seth Walter. This man's got one thing on his mind, and that is putting this ball in the middle of the box in goal-scoring range. Walter, Dangler's there, but he's not the one to get ahead on it. Instead, it was Navas. Came in there, jumped up high, and was able to make an impressive play getting the head on the ball. The most dangerous player in the box usually isn't the tallest player. It's usually the player you don't see. That player coming in out of nowhere, coming in from behind, or coming in from the back stages of the box. That's usually the dangerous player to get the head on the ball. Just missed an opportunity there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to let you know that the Night Snack Shack is now open. Snacks and beverages available, and grilled items will be coming shortly. Again, the Night Snack Shack is open.
Trent Hofmeister, as we get the announcement that the Knights Snack Shack is now open for the fans here in attendance at the Coliseum. Good defensive play there by the Jersey Blues on that far sideline as the Knights were getting dangerously close to goal-scoring area. Good head ball by Seth Walter. The rest of the players around him jumped up, and he timed it perfectly. He didn't even have to jump. He just stuck the head out and was able to put it up towards a teammate, Hunter Alchin. Thinks twice about taking this throw in. Instead, he tosses it off to Sims, plays it up to Dangler. Dangler can't get the foot on it, and it goes past him, and that will roll out of bounds. It will, but there's a whistle away from that, and we've got a player coming in as actually that wave is over to the sideline as the Jersey Blues player is down with an injury. The trainer is coming out onto the field. We'll be back shortly after the injury timeout as Guzman Hernandez will have a corner kick for the Knights.
Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 19, Brian Roni.
I don't know if that was a call from the sideline or it was a call that Roni made on his own. Guzman Hernandez is the corner kick specialist for this team, but Brian Roni kind of looked like he called him off. He took this corner kick, and it was not a good one, and a missed opportunity there for the Knights. Guzman Hernandez has a couple of assists on the year off corner kick, so a very puzzling decision there from the Knights. One that may come back to haunt him as this game still remains scoreless. 0-0, even though the offensive opportunities certainly favor the Knights. I'm trying to look for the stat line on Guzman Hernandez. Yeah, 3 assists on the season, 2 of those coming from the corner kick. So definitely a puzzling decision there from the Knights. Well, let's see what they have in store here offensively. As I was going to say, they have possession of the ball, but they quickly lost possession of the ball. Now the Jersey Blues taking over here on the far sideline with the throw in. Adam Weiss seeing his first action of the afternoon. Weiss, young freshman who is seeing more and more playing time as this season continues. In the early part of this season, I don't know, maybe it was due to an injury that I just wasn't aware of, but he wasn't really seeing the field here. But as the season continues, he's seeing much more and more playing time, and he's making the most of it. Doesn't have any goals to his name. Let's double check on that. I don't believe he has any goals to his name. No, he doesn't have any goals or assists to his name, but he's making his presence felt defensively from the midfield position. He's one of the taller players on this team, stands at 6'4". Weighs in at 200 pounds, so he's one of the bigger players on this Knights team. Maybe they want that size in the middle because the Knights have had opportunities at crosses in the middle a couple different times. I mean, Dangler 2 times just himself. He's been able to put a head on the ball that has just come dangerously close to finding the back of the net. So maybe you put Weiss in to give you some more height in the middle at the midfield on those cross attempts. Here's Noah Shade. He goes over to Guzman Hernandez. Hernandez. Here's Roni. Roni doesn't have space, but he's pressing the issue. Gets around a defender now with the right foot. The shot hits off the post, and it doesn't get much closer than that. Brian Roni did not have much in front of him, but forced the issue, got himself into a goal-scoring opportunity, ripped the shot, hit the post. Oh, so close. Oh, so close. Sometimes the goalkeeper, you just got to give thanks to your friendly neighborhood post. And that time, Matt Rebeaud has to do just that. And that ball will be whistled dead because of the substitution that hadn't taken place yet. Jersey Blues making a quick sub. And we are now under 10 minutes to go here in this first half. And the score still remains 0-0, which is definitely a surprise given the numbers in favor of the Knights. Let's look at it right here. 0 shots in the game for the Jersey Blues. And now let's look at the numbers for the Knights. You can definitely say there's no 0 next to the shots. That's for sure. As you just had another shot there. Dangler plays it off of the post and out of bounds. That'll now be 10 shots in the game. 5 of those shots on goal for the Knights. So a very good offensive outpouring for them. Even though the scoreboard doesn't reflect it. Dangler there in the middle puts a head on the ball. Isn't able to get anything from it, though. And Sirion coming in there trying to steal it away from the Jersey Blues midfield player, but he was unsuccessful as they're able to clear it out of the danger zone just for a moment. Ball's right back into the danger zone. Brian Roni couldn't do anything with it that time. Roni doing a great job of showing that he should possibly be in the starting lineup moving forward. Not normally a starter for this team here. Finds himself starting this afternoon, and he's putting up some good performances. Couple different possessions for the Knights ending in almost goals. One of those possessions ended in a very good shot by Brian Roni. Dangler's had a couple good shots on goal. Guzman Hernandez almost found himself in goal scoring range before he had it stolen away from him earlier. Clement Blamo Jr. found himself in a close goal scoring range. Opportunities there for this Knights team, just not able to capitalize on it so far. Keyword there, so far. Still a lot of time here to play. And that don't mean to discourage the Jersey Blues there, is because there's a lot of time for them as well, obviously. They haven't had any good offensive opportunities, but they still are in this, and they still find themselves hanging around here. So anything could happen. And here's Ortiz, finds himself in goal scoring. Shade's going to take the shot, and he almost swung and missed. He topped it. He got the bottom of the cleat over the ball, and that is an opportunity that Noah Shade may be kicking himself about later on. That is a missed opportunity for sure. One that the Knights really can't afford to keep missing, is we've only got 6 minutes and change left in this first half, and we've got a second 45 afterwards, but the clock is going to get dangerously close to midnight on this game sooner than later. The Knights are eventually going to have to make good on some of these opportunities or pay the piper. Here's a play into the middle. Can't be caught, but it's caught on the rebound. Good play there by Rebeaud coming off of his line. Got the hands on it. Wasn't able to catch it initially. That's the second time he's done that, where he's gone up into the air to make a catch. Wasn't able to cleanly catch it, but he's been able to get it on the rebound both times, but you just can't let the other team get those rebound opportunities. Those end up being goals more times than not. Here's Isiah to Dangler. Good defense by the Jersey Blues midfield. Makes Dangler have to get rid of it to Guzman Hernandez, and Guzman Hernandez just turns it over. Continued good defense by the Jersey Blues midfield, who are now working the issue transition-wise, but just to no success whatsoever. Great transition defense by the Knights. The Jersey Blues trying to get the transition offense going, but the transition defense for the Knights is having no say in it. There is the first shot of the game for the Jersey Blues, and it comes with 5 minutes left in the first half. That is not a stat line that head coach Fitzsimmons is going to be happy about. He's going to have a good halftime speech in store if he wants to get his offense back into this game, as the offense has been non-existent until that last possession for the Jersey Blues. Here's Dangler getting past two defenders. Couldn't get past the third, so that's why he gave it up to Walter. Walter working hard, but just not hard enough. Couldn't make anything happen. Here come the Jersey Blues. Don't have numbers, but they do have space. Robert Sims doing a good job of trying to cut off that space, and he did good enough job as Guzman Hernandez was able to come around, steal it away, but it goes out of bounds. So missed opportunity there for both teams. Guzman Hernandez would have been able to save that. He could have maybe tried to push things up in transition. If the Jersey Blues wouldn't have to turn it over, they may have had their second shot of the game. Substitutions coming into the game for the Knights. Here is a player that we normally see a lot of, and that is number 8, Cameron Schnack. He's been in the starting lineup at different points this season for the Knights, seeing his first action this afternoon. Gage Robinson also came back into the game on that substitution, as well as Edwin Navas. So the Knights, this looks like this is going to be the unit they're going to run with for the rest of this first half. This is only 3 minutes and 30 seconds that separate these two teams from the end of this first half. Hoffmeister gets ahead on it. Good display of sportsmanship there between Hoffmeister and Araha of the Jersey Blues. A little bit of a physical play, but nothing to write home about. There's a push from behind. That's going to be a call on Schnack. Not much sportsmanship shown there by Schnack. He just ran him over like a bulldozer. Did his best Jamal Lewis impression there. Here's Araha, plays it up. He's going for a cross. A lot of spin on that ball. It's spun away from his teammate. Maybe too much spin. Here's Navas. Long pass up to Dangler. Dangler's there. Can he get behind the defense? He can, but not fast enough as the Jersey Blues goalkeeper was able to come out of the box and get a head on that ball. Not often do you see a goalie go for a head ball, but there he had to. Dangler shot just misses. Doesn't get much closer than that. Jake Dangler, that's the third time here this afternoon that he's had a good opportunity at goal scoring, and he's just missed. Dangler leading the offensive charge for the Knights here this afternoon. Dangerously close to putting them up 1-0 here with that shot. It's funny, Dangler started this afternoon playing defense. Now he is firmly playing forward, as Robert Sims has taken his spot along with Adam Weiss on the back line. And Hoffmeister and Dangler are now pushing the issue offensively. Cameron Schnack chases it down, but just wasn't fast enough. Goes out of bounds, will be a goal kick. 1 minute and 25 seconds left here in this first half. Here comes the goal kick after the time was certainly taken there. Ball's up in the air. Robert Sims plays it off his head. Schnack is trying to chase it down. Does. Saves it from going out of bounds. Plays it back to Sims. Sims. It's played up by the Jersey Blues. Number 3, Willie Jean Vilma. Good play up. Sims falls down, but somehow he was able to still play it from falling down. He fell down on the ground. It somehow still was able to get a piece of his body on it and deflect it enough that it slowed the momentum of the Jersey Blues. That's not flying. That's falling with style, as Woody would say. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 6, Varma Sirian. Sirian with a good play there on the corner. Did find the head of Dangler. Dangler wasn't accurate with the kick. And that will be all she wrote for the first half. Leave it to the Knights to get a good opportunity in the last 10 seconds of the first half, as opportunities were there for the Knights all of the first half. But still the score remains 0-0. We'll be back after this short break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here ready to play the final 45, or what we hope will be the final 45, because we're scoreless right now. And some halftime stats for you. Shots on goal, the leader for the Knights. No surprise, number 25, Jake Dangler, 3 shots on goal. He leads all teams in shots in general with 5. And some other shots on goal for the Knights. Varma, Sirion, Gage Robinson. Those are the only other 2. Trent Hoffmeister had a shot. Brian Roni had a shot, and Carlos Guzman Hernandez had a shot as well, but none of them on goal. 6 saves in the first half for Matt Rebeaud, the goalkeeper for the Jersey Blues. Only 1 shot in the first half for the Jersey Blues. And we already have a shot for the Knights here in this first half. They go for the shot right off the play. And it doesn't lead to anything as it goes in between the goalpost and the field goal post. Goes out of bounds. This will be a free kick. That ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Jersey Blues again. Noah Shade with a throw. That's an illegal throw. And it will be the Jersey Blues balls now. Here's a throw. And a long boot up and over Seth Walter's head. But it won't go over Guarnio's head. Played it up, and Guzman Hernandez was there, but it was stolen by the Jersey Blues. Jersey Blues trying to put it on the transition, and a good defensive play there by Walter stopped the momentum before it ever got started. Far sideline throw in for the Jersey Blues. Adam Weiss finds himself in the starting lineup here for the second half. He played some big minutes for the Knights late in the first half, excuse me. As we got into the later stages of the first half, we saw a change in momentum and change in philosophy for head coach Joe Fiedler, as Trent Hoffmeister and Jake Dangler, who are usually defensive specialists, found themselves playing much more offense. I mean, Hoffmeister does usually play midfield, but he was pushing the issue much more offensively. Dangler does usually play the defensive position, but now he finds himself playing the forward position here to start this second half. Let's see if it leads to a goal. Almost did in the first half. Speaking of goals, almost a goal-scoring opportunity here for the Jersey Blues. Shot, and it's an easy save by Guarino, and that's the first shot on goal for the Jersey Blues. Maybe head coach Fitzsimmons had a good halftime speech, because the Jersey Blues seem to have come out in this second half with a much better sense of urgency. And that's going to be important, because tired legs absolutely going to take an effect here in this second half at some point. Both teams are well equipped with deep benches, but it is a hot and humid afternoon. I know these players have to be tired after that very long and physical first half. Things are only going to get more physical and more chippy here in the second half. Trent Hoffmeister, quick pass up to Navas, couldn't find it. It was interesting, a player that I have not seen out there on the field at all here this afternoon is Dominic Padilla. Padilla, usually one of the top players off the bench for the Knights, not in the game this afternoon. Not sure if that is because of an injury or what, but or maybe we'll see him later in the game. Who knows? But Padilla not seeing much action here in this first half or second half. We'll keep an eye on that as things continue. Dangler here, second opportunity on the free kick. Almost buried his first. Let's see what he's got here. He's got a 3-man wall to try and contend with. Rebeaud, goalkeeper for the Jersey Blues, trying to put that wall right where he wants it. Here's Dangler, hands up in the air, ball's up in the air, and the ball is oh so close to finding the back of the net. That is the 4th Dangerously close shot by Jake Dangler. Dangler having a word with the referee. I'm just assuming the referee is saying, hey, eventually you're going to get one of those into the back of the net, young man. Because Dangler has had his fingerprints all over this game. Trent Hoffmeister puts a head on it, up to Edwin Navas. Navas couldn't do anything with it. But Guzman Hernandez trying to find Navas, but Shade gets to it. Shade was unable to do anything with it. Missed opportunity there for the Knights. Hoffmeister over to Dangler, plays it in the middle with the head. Navas was there, and so was Carlos Guzman Hernandez. Sadly for those two, Jersey Blues player was there first. Robert Sims, short pass. Up to Gage Robinson. Gage Robinson plays it over to Hoffmeister, and he gets tripped up from behind and tripped up at a dangerous spot. Dangler, who was oh so close to scoring on the last free kick, has got his another free kick, this time from an even better position, right out in front of the box. The other one was closer onto the far sideline. This time, right in front of the box. A four-man wall set up for the Jersey Blues. And a quick kick is no good. And, man, Dangler shook everyone up there with that quick kick. Almost got a goal from it. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 3, Carlos Guzman Hernandez. Guzman Hernandez, the corner kick specialist for the Knights. That one wasn't very good, but it did almost lead to a goal. So it counts for something, right? Edwin Navas there, one taking the shot for the Knights. Dangerously close to goal scoring range. Adam Weiss, proving that he may have been a basketball player in his high school days, because he got up there to get that head on the ball. Here's a long cross by Noah Shade. Almost found Dangler, but it does find Carlos Guzman Hernandez, and that's going to be a whistle on Guzman Hernandez. Or will it? Actually, it'll just be a goal kick. Thought Guzman Hernandez was going to get whistled for the slide. Instead, it just rolled out of bounds safely off the end line, and the Jersey Blues, another opportunity to finally get this offense rolling. Their first shot on goal came in the early stages of this second half. The offense, relatively non-existent in the first half, and there Noah Shade takes a dive. After taking the slide tackle, and Seth Walter coming up from his defensive line position to take this 5 yards in front of the midfield line. Walter, long pass. Dangler's there, gets a head on it, and he wasn't accurate with the head. Game plan is obvious here on these free kicks. If it's in goal scoring range, let Jake Dangler take it. If it's not in goal scoring range, find Jake Dangler's head. Adam Weiss there, plays it back to Robert Sims, who plays it in the middle. Navas chests it, and he can't do anything with it. He puts it up in the air with the chest. I think he thought he was going to play it right to himself. Instead, it played a little bit behind him. Just was unsuccessful in getting towards it. Here's Hoffmeister. Plays it in the middle. Nothing but Jersey Blues players there. And that ball will roll safely out of bounds. And Asaro here with a throw-in. Interesting, Seth Walter not taking these throws deep in the offensive zone. You think that would be a play here for him. He's got the cannons for arms. Almost had 2 assists on the throw-ins earlier in the first half. Navas gets a head on it in goal-scoring range, but couldn't get any power or accuracy behind it, and it's a missed opportunity for the Knights. Navas over to Shade after he was able to get in front of it. Shade, the cross into the middle. Nothing but Jersey Blues players there once again. The Knights keeping the foot on the gas pedal, though, here in the second half, much like they did in the first half. And Hoffmeister going to get called for that one. Quick kick by the Jersey Blues, trying to catch the Knights off guard, and they do. They've got space in front, but don't have numbers. Weiss finally catching ball, and he drives him right into the ongoing traffic of Robert Sims. Great defensive play there by Weiss. He won't get credit for the steal, but he legally pushed the offensive player for the Jersey Blues into the position where he wanted him to go, and Robert Sims was there to make the steal. And now that has led us to the position where the Knights are in right now, knocking on the door of opportunity deep in their offensive zone. Now playing it back to Walter plays it into Dangler. Dangler goes over his head, and that is played out of bounds. Guzman Hernandez, another corner. Fourth corner of the game for the Knights, second of this second half. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 3, Carlos Guzman Hernandez. Here's Hernandez. Hands up in the air. Ball's in the air. This time from the near sideline. Dangler's there, but he can't get the head on there with any kind of accuracy. Got a player down on the field, and it is Dangler, but he seems to be pulling himself back up. He did take a long, hard hit there as he dove in to try and get the head on that ball. Seems to be okay. He's walking it off. I'm assuming he watches a lot of hockey. 10 minutes have been played here in this second half, and the momentum still squarely on the shoulders of the CCBC Essex Knights. Brookdale Community College Jersey Blues struggling here this afternoon. Jersey Blues now with the punt, working it into the middle. Not very good there was the attempt to catch that punt as Saha just completely mistimed his jump there on the head ball. Luckily, Navas bailed him out and committed the foul, and the Jersey Blues will still have possession here, as that could have been an easy opportunity. And speaking of easy opportunities, opportunity wasted there. It's Robert Sims was pushed from behind by the Jersey Blues. But as I was saying before then, the Knights could have had easily had an opportunity at a transition if Navas hadn't committed that foul. The Knights, though, didn't come back to haunt them as they have possession now. Trent Hoffmeister's got a couple white jerseys around him, so he plays it over to his teammate Carlos Guzman Hernandez, who has it stolen away from him as he's trying to press the issue. Guzman Hernandez, a little sloppy there on the offensive side of the ball. Don't see him commit many turnovers. Navas plays into the middle. Dangler's there, and so is Noah Shade, but neither of them can get a head or body on that ball. Gage Robinson's able to get a foot on the ball outside of the 18, but it splits the uprights, and the Ravens certainly could have used that this afternoon. This game has been much better than the Ravens game. The Ravens fell to the Jaguars 44-7. I don't mean to rub salt in the wound. I'm sure you guys don't need to be reminded of that. But this game, I think I can speak for everyone here in attendance, is much, much better than that one. Nothing draw here as we approach the final 30 minutes. This has been a back and forth contest, the defensive struggle. The Jersey Blues playing great amongst the defensemen. The defenders on the Knight side also playing well, just shutting down any offensive opportunity that has come for the Jersey Blues. Though those opportunities haven't come often for the Jersey Blues, they have been there. The Knights just shutting the door before it ever had a chance to open, just like they did right there. Walter plays up to Sirion. Sirion's got an angle for a cross. Dangler was there, couldn't put a body on it. Roni fights his way to get into a goal-scoring opportunity, rips a shot, but it deflects off of the defense of the Jersey Blues. Good cross there by Sirion, but it won't count for anything other than style points. None of his teammates were able to bury the shot into the back of the net. So we still find ourselves tied here at 0-0. Hunter Alchin, Brian Roni, Sirion finding themselves back into the game. All of those players, except for Hunter Alchin, were starters in this game. And here, Dominic Padilla has checked into the game for the first time here this afternoon. Let's see if he can make a difference here after not seeing much action in the first half. Navas. All the Jersey Blues players arguing at the ref. They wanted a foul there. I can't really say I blame them, but, you know, no whistle. You got to keep playing. Play till the whistle, especially a 0-0 game like that. You let the Knights get in front of you just for a second. All they need is one step. Jersey Blues the same way. You just got to let this game come through. No arguing with the ref here this afternoon. This game's too close. Here's a corner. Brian Roni taking the corner for the Knights. His first corner attempt of the game wasn't a good one. Let's see what he's got here on the second. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 19, Brian Roni. Roni. He was trying to find Dangler. Dangler was coming in with the head with reckless abandonment there. Maybe should have been a little bit more under control because he missed his opportunity at the head ball. As this game continues to go on at 0-0, it's almost becoming more and more obvious that the next goal wins. The defense is here in this game playing very well. Here's Isiah playing it to Padilla after he just received the pass from Padilla. Robert Sims over to Walter. Walter slows things down as almost had it taken away from him at the midfield line. Isiah over to Ortiz. Ortiz playing around with it, looking for something, looking for an angle. Doesn't get one, so he passes it over to Roni. Roni puts it in the middle. Nothing but Jersey Blues players over there. Roni still in control of the ball after winning the 50-50 ball out of the air. The Jersey Blues are able to clear it that time. Robert Sims puts it into the deep offensive Knights territory and forces the Jersey Blues to just kick it out of bounds. And now Brian Roni has a throw-in deep in Knights territory. Very interesting that Seth Walter is still not taking these throws. He was taking all the throw-ins deep in offensive territory for the Knights in the first half. Second half, not so much. Here's Isiah. Shot! No good. I was going to say that splits the uprights, but I think that one was wide right. Wide right doesn't count for anything. Just ask Buffalo Bills fans. Missed opportunity there for the Knights, that's for sure. We're approaching the final 25 minutes of play here in regulation, so you cannot afford to miss opportunities. I know I speak for everyone here in the broadcast booth and out there in the stands and out there on the field when I say, let's finish this in regulation, boys. Nobody wants to see overtime. As good as this game has been, we want to see a winner. Last game that we had here at the Coliseum was women's soccer contest, but women's soccer, when these two teams went head-to-head, it was a 1-1 draw. Brookdale Community College women got ahead 1-0 early against the CCBC Essex Knights women's team. The Knights were able to answer back, tie it up, and then hold on for the draw. Could we be in store for another draw here this afternoon? My professional opinion is no. I think somebody's going to get a goal here in the late stages of the second half. Either the Knights are finally going to be able to kick this door down, or the Knights are going to get themselves out of position just for a moment, and the Jersey Blues are going to be able to take advantage of it, squeak a goal past, and walk away here stealing a victory, even though they've been dominated here this afternoon. Here's Walter up on the far sideline, plays up to Hunter Alchin, but Dangler actually plays it instead. I think he would have been better off playing that to Alchin, as Alchin had space in front of him. Dangler pushed himself into a situation where he had it stolen away from him, but had it stolen away illegally, as now he's got himself his third free kick from goal scoring range in the second half alone. He had one in the first half. Now here, 3 in the second. Came dangerously close on the first 2 in this half. Let's see what he has on the third. 4-man wall once again. The last one, Dangler tried to catch everyone off guard with the short, fast kick. This time he's going for the traditional. Is he going to go over the wall or through the wall? He's going to go over the wall and over everything as he splits the uprights Justin Tucker style. Body language doctor says things not looking good for the Knights right now. Frustration starting to set in. And you can hardly blame them. The opportunities have been there for this Knights team. Just have not been able to capitalize on them. Played up. Sirion got it taken away from him, and we'll find out that that was illegally taken away from him, as that was a trip from behind, dangerously close to the box. And once again, Jake Dangler is going to get a shot at goal scoring here with the free kick, pretty much from the same spot he had the last one. Jake Dangler going to take the free kick here. Nothing happening there. Here's a corner kick, though, for the Knights. Yellow card issued to the Jersey Blues, number 3, Willie Jean Vilma. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 19, Brian Roni. Roni with the corner. Not a good one. He'll get another one, though. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 19, Brian Roni. Brian Roni, not a good corner the first time around. The second time, decided to not make that mistake again, and this time he went for the short kick. Just couldn't lead to anything for the Knights, but it rolls safely into the defensive zone where only Dominic Padilla was. He's able to control it. Now the Knights on the offensive attack once again. Now just under 25 minutes left to play here in regulation. Varma Sirion gets around, puts it into Dangler. Dangler just could not accurately put that ball into the back of the net. He was able to get a foot on it, just couldn't put it towards the goal. And you got to think that if the Knights somehow lose this game or walk away with a draw, you got to believe that Jake Dangler is going to be very disappointed with that, because he has had just opportunity after opportunity at goal scoring here in this game, and just none of the opportunities have gone in for him. You come into a contest, if you're head coach Joe Fiedler, you want to put your team in a position where you can get goals, and you really want to put your best players in a position where they can do what they do best. Jake Dangler, the leading goal scorer for this Knights team, so you want him to get opportunities at goal. And now some pushing and shoving away from the ball, and John Asaro is going to get a yellow card. He's pleading with the ref, saying that he was only retaliating because the other player was on his shoulders. Doesn't matter who does it first. It matters who gets caught doing it. John Asaro going to take a seat on the bench after receiving the yellow card. Yellow card issued to the Knights, number 16, John Asaro. So Asaro with the yellow card. He's got to be careful. Don't ever really want your defenders to get yellow cards, because then they have to really be careful with the tackles. So let's see how quickly we see Asaro back into this game. He's been in for the Knights pretty much since the start of the game. I think this is his first break of the afternoon. Could be wrong on that, though. Here's Dangler playing it into the box. Oh, so close, Dangler. That was very, very close. Once again, man. We said Jake Dangler and close it so many times here in this game. I mean, it's at least 7 or 8 times Jake Dangler has put himself at least in goal-scoring range. 4 or 5 times we know he's come close with the shots. Honestly, he's had even more opportunities than that. This game is just begging for someone to break through offensively. The Knights have been the team pushing and pressing the issue. The Jersey Blues just hanging around here this afternoon, and there is something to be said about that. 0-0. This is still anyone's ball game, even though every other stat line you could look at here in this game would say that this very much is the Knights' ball game. The only stat line that matters says this is anybody's ball game. Roni could not get to it, and he has it stolen away from him. This is a opportunity at offense for the Jersey Blues, but not a very good one, as nothing but blue jerseys back there in their offensive zone. And the Knights quickly steal it away. Robert Sims plays it up to Guzman Hernandez, up to Dangler. Dangler's got it on the left, and he tried to put it over to the right, and he just couldn't, and the goalkeeper was coming off of his line, kicked it out of bounds. Water break on the field, so we'll take a quick break up here in the press box. We'll be back after this short break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back after the quick water break that was taken on the field. I'm sure the players definitely appreciated that, as it's a hot one out there, and it's been a physical one there as well. Here's Dangler, shot at goal scoring. Oh, puts it into the back of the net, and actually, will it count? He looks like he's waving it off. And it does count. The ball goes up. And the score finally goes up, and Dangler, after having opportunity after opportunity, the Knights, after the water break, finally get a goal here. Dangler came into this second half with 5 shots, 3 of them on goal. That was in the first half alone. He's had some extra shots here in the second half as well, and finally one of them went into the back of the net. That is his 6th goal of the year, and the Knights, after dominating the play for most of this game, finally the scoreboard reflects it. Jake Dangler's 6th goal of the year. Here's the call. That Knights goal was scored by number 25, Jake Dangler. Woo! Is what I believe Jake Dangler and the rest of the Knights players are saying deep down inside. A big sigh of relief now, knowing that if you can hold on like you have here so far, you're going to be walking out victorious, and you're going to be able to avoid overtime. Now, the Jersey Blues still not out of this yet. Still 20 minutes left to play, so anything is possible. But I got to say, if the Jersey Blues walk out of here defeated and they only lose 1-0, I got to say that's a moral victory if there ever was one in sports, because they've just really been dominated here in this game. But scoreboard hasn't reflected it until now. 2 players getting tripped up. Legally, though, it was just 2 players' feet colliding. Here's Sirion after it's stolen away from Padilla. Sirion plays it up to Guzman Hernandez, up to Roni. Roni plays it on the head up to Navas. Navas could not get in front of that ball. Missed opportunity there. One they can finally afford to miss, though. And here's Asaro. Or excuse me, Asaro. First time I've said his name wrong. I want to apologize to his parents if they're watching. I know I've been saying that young man's name wrong all season long. It's John Asaro. Asaro coming back into the game after taking the break. That break was forced upon him because of the yellow card. So he'll have to watch the physical play here for the rest of this game and his next game as well, which I believe is next Saturday. I know that's our next broadcasted game for the Knights. Next Saturday at 12. We'll be back here at the Coliseum for more exciting men's and women's soccer. It's been such an exciting season of soccer here at the Coliseum so far. If you haven't got out to a game this season, definitely encourage you to do so. Always a great family-friendly atmosphere. And always great men's and women's soccer action here at CCBC Essex. Here's Trent Hoffmeister. Plays it over to Sirion. Sirion, good cross. Too close to the line, though. And here's a corner kick for Guzman Hernandez. 8th corner of the game for the Knights. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 3, Carlos Guzman Hernandez. Hernandez, that corner was well over everyone's head. Brian Roni, the only player in a blue jersey over there around to get it. He does chase it down, save it from going out of bounds. Sirion puts it into the back of the net. What an amazing play by Varma Sirion. Sirion controlled that pass, played it away from the keeper, and then played it into the back of the net. Varma Sirion has now punched his ticket to the 2nd leading goal scorer for the Knights on this season. He came into this game with 4 goals on the season, 1 behind Jake Dangler, who had 5. And you know already that Dangler scored his 6th. And right there you saw Varma Sirion score his 5th goal of the year. Congratulations to that young man.
That Knights goal was scored by number 6, Varma Sirion.
Sirion with the goal that has finally kicked the door down for the Knights. You know, that Dangler goal gave them some breathing room in terms of it finally being a 1-0 game. in favor of the Knights. That Sirion goal gave them even more breathing room, and now you got to think the Knights are definitely going to be walking away with a W here. The little amount of offense we've seen from the Jersey Blues here leads me to believe that a 2-goal lead is a little bit too big for them here this afternoon against this Knights team. But I don't know. They could get a goal here. Maybe they could turn that around. Played onto the far sideline. Now played up that far sideline and just a little bit too far up and out as it goes off the out-of-bounds line. And Robert Sims is coming in to take the throw. Seth Walter is taking a much-deserved break. He's been in there this entire game working real hard for the Knights, and Tangwa Aka is going to come in. He was a starter this afternoon for the Knights, but he hasn't seen much playing time here in the second half. And also interesting, Tangwa was a starter at the midfield position for the Knights, but here this afternoon, as he comes back in the second half, he's coming in to play defense. So a versatile player. He's proving to be. So many versatile players. Dangler is back at his normal defensive position as well. Finally got that goal, and now his head coach, Joe Fiedler, wants him back in his natural, normal position, and that is defenseman. Almost kind of like the Sergio Ramos of this Knights team. Ramos, the longtime Real Madrid defenseman who was so famous for making good runs from the back line. Jake Dangler also so famous for that for the Knights. Here's another opportunity for him on the goal kick, or corner kick, excuse me. Hands up in the air, ball's up in the air. Not a good corner by Roni. Guzman Hernandez is able to chase it down, though. He's trying to get something going. Plays it over to Hoffmeister, over to Roni. Roni plays it in. This is a good cross. Dangler there, but he lets it go over his head, as he had Sirion behind him, but Sirion wasn't able to control that one. He was able to control it when it counted, though, so can't give him much grief about that. Here's the play. Sirion, he got it. Not enough communication there on the field. He had no idea that the player was coming from behind. And here's Isaro. Isaro played it over to Tangwa, who played it over to Robert Sims. Sims, one of the sophomores who makes his living on the Knights coming off the bench, is seeing big action on the defensive line for the Knights here in this game. He's usually the first defenseman to come off of the bench for the Knights when one of the starting defensemen needs a breather. But here, he's seeing big minutes this afternoon against the Jersey Blues. Here's a free kick, first free kick of the game to not be taken by Jake Dangler. This one will either be taken by Gage Robinson or Carlos Guzman Hernandez. They're both standing near the ball. I'm sure one of them is going to cause a distraction, and the other one will take the kick. Who will it be? It'll be Guzman Hernandez with the right foot. Shot off the post. Up into the air. And Sirion with the head, but an amazing save by Rebeaud, the goalkeeper for the Jersey Blues. What an incredible display of offense there by the Knights once again, almost getting the goal. Here as we approach the 13-minute mark in this game, Sirion still pressing the issue, plays it back to his defenseman, Isaro. Isaro, good cross. Roni is there, but he can't control it. It finally does. Initially, he couldn't control it. Actually, he never could control it. Is just when I thought he had control, rolled out of bounds. Here's a substitution coming into the game for the Knights. Cameron Schnack coming in, as well as Hunter Alchin, Clement Blamo Jr., and Henry Ortiz. Big group substitution. I'm sure we'll see number 17, the Funker, in there at some point, Logan Funk, as well as Padilla and Edwin Navas. I'm sure will be coming into the game at some point now that this contest is well under wraps. Just 12 minutes is separating these two teams from the end of this game, and I'm sure it'll feel like a long 12 minutes for the Jersey Blues. This has been a long game for them. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 10, Gage Robinson. Robinson plays it over to Guzman Hernandez, who gives it right back to Robinson. Robinson tries to play a shot into the box, and it's deflected off of the backside of one of the Jersey Blues defenders. Guzman Hernandez chases it down and almost got himself an assist there as he put a beautiful cross right in front of Dangler, and Dangler wasn't able to get a body on it, and we've come to find out that he was in such great position because he was doing some pushing and shoving. Whistle blown on the Knights. Here's a through ball, gets past Tongwa, and Tongwa let it get past him as he knew that offsides whistle was coming. Jersey Blues player was barely offsides, but offsides nonetheless. Ortiz over to Hoffmeister, who plays it over to Tongwa. Now Sims. Sims to Schnack. Schnack. Left-footed cross. Alchin is there. Plays it with the chest. Couldn't control it after that. I think he wanted to play it right up into the air, but he played it a little bit too far out in front of him. So hard to firmly control those hard passes with the chest. Run the risk of putting that a little bit too far out in front. Kind of have to give with the ball a little bit to have it just bounce right in front of you. It's a tough play for anybody. A play that Hunter Alchin wasn't able to make that time. Here come the Jersey Blues on the goal kick. Just under 10 minutes left to play now. Good boot on that ball. Sadly for him, it couldn't find anybody other than the out-of-bounds line. Missed opportunity there, as that was a really good goal kick there, but just couldn't find anybody. Here's Ortiz now playing it up the near sideline over to Guzman Hernandez. Guzman Hernandez tried for a one-touch pass over to Alchin, just didn't put enough mustard on that sandwich. Clear attempt intercepted by Tongwa right at the midfield line, and he plays it over to Dangler. Goal scorer and the offensive force that has been driving the train for this Knights. Mr. Jake Dangler plays it up to Cameron Schnack. Schnack over to Blamo Jr. Blamo playing with it a little bit in front of the box. Finally went for a pass. Pass wasn't successful. That pass was as Henry Ortiz's pass found the chest of Clement Blamo Jr., and before he was able to get a shot off, he had it stolen away from him. Guzman Hernandez here with the corner kick. Trent Hoffmeister going to take a seat on the bench. Well deserved for Mr. 27. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 3, Carlos Guzman Hernandez. Adam Weiss coming into the game for Trent Hoffmeister. Hoffmeister, like I said, he's not one of those players you're going to see his name a lot in the scorecard in terms of goals and assists. Now, he does have some goals and assists to his name, but he's not one of those players who's going to put up, 5 or 6 goals on a season. He may have 2, 3 goals, 4 or 5 assists, but he's more his presence is more felt on the field in terms of great fundamental defense and good passing. He's a player that always seems to be at the right place at the right time for the Knights. He's getting a much-deserved break here in this game. Let's see what Adam Weiss has to say as he has come in for Hoffmeister. Guzman Hernandez plays it over to Blamo Jr., plays it into the back of the net. Good two-man passing there. Guzman Hernandez over to Clement Blamo Jr. buries it into the back of the net. Now with just over 7 minutes left to play, the score is now 3-0 in favor of the Knights. Let's look at the numbers here. And now, it's funny, we were talking about how Varma Sirion punched his ticket to be the man in second in the goal-scoring category for the Knights. Clement Blamo Jr. is now tied Logan Funk for third in goal-scoring on the Knights, for the Knights in this season. Let's get the call.
That Knights goal was scored by number 7, Clement Blamo Jr., assisted by number 3, Carlos Guzman Hernandez.
So now under 7 minutes to play in this contest, and the Knights firmly in control of this one. Don't think that was ever really in doubt. They've been firmly in control of this one kind of since the beginning. But now it is not looking good for them. Not the Knights, that is. I meant the Jersey Blues. Jersey Blues got a long way back to New Jersey after this. And it's going to be a silent car ride or bus trip. Actually, I'm sure they got a team bus or something. But it'll be a quiet bus trip. Could be a little bit more quiet if the Knights score here on this offensive possession. Here's Hunter Alchin right at the 6-minute mark. Over to, who's that? Is that Blamo Jr. or Blamo Jr.? It is. And he couldn't do anything with it. Thought that was Sirion for a minute, but Blamo Jr. and Sirion play such similar games. Offensive forces for this team that usually come off the benches. Now, Sirion found himself in the starting lineup this afternoon, but he's usually in the reserves, proving here this afternoon that maybe he deserves to be in the starting lineup moving forward. And there's Blamo Jr. going to get a whistle for that one. That was a pretty obvious one, and I may get a card next time around for that one. Both hands on the back of the defender. Obviously a turnover there. Here's a play over to Schnack. Schnack up the sideline, but he can't do anything with it. That ball goes out of bounds. Schnack receives the pass after the throw-in, and he couldn't do anything with it. Here's Robert Sims trying to get in front of that ball. He won't, but Dangler does, as the Jersey Blues player falls down behind him. Dangler just getting anything he wants here in this game. Approaching the final 4 minutes of play. Dominating performance from the Knights. There's a play up on the near sideline. This is a good offensive opportunity. If they can save it from going out of bounds, they do. And here come the Jersey Blues. Henry Ortiz shuts the door momentarily, though. Jersey Blues still with possession. Near sideline, so still with an opportunity to do something. Substitution coming into the game for the Jersey Blues. Now just over 3 minutes separating these two teams from the end of this contest. Now a play. Shot on goal is not actually on goal. It's over the goal. It splits the uprights, and the Ravens certainly could have used that this afternoon. Break as Sirion comes back into the game. Guzman Hernandez. Guzman Hernandez there with the play, as he will finally take a seat on the bench. Much deserved. No goals or assists to his name. Actually does have an assist. He did have an assist on the last goal, the Blamo Jr. goal. And there's Sirion Played it over to Gage Robinson. Good through ball to Alchin, and Alchin puts a shot that is just wide of the net. Alchin was looking for a goal there, and the sigh of frustration there on his face says it all. Not a man who gets many opportunities at goal scoring. Right there, he wanted to make the most of the opportunity he had in front of him. Hunter Alchin does have a goal to his name. I believe that goal was scored last week, or this week, excuse me. I believe his goal was scored on Thursday. Regardless, a missed opportunity at a goal there for Alchin. I'm sure you remember the goals you miss a lot more than the goals you score at this point in the season. Later on in life, I don't know if it's be the same way, and that will go out of bounds just barely. And the Jersey Blues player trying to plead with the referee, I think he thought that was still in play. I gotta say, I agree with him. It was close to the end line though, and the ref is the one with the flag, so he's the one in charge. Here's Weiss. He lets the player get past him, but Tongwa does not, and Tongwa now playing it over to Robert Sims, and this could be the final offensive possession of the game for the Knights, is now only 1 minute and 30 seconds separating these two teams. Schnack played it out of bounds to nobody. I think he thought he had a teammate over there. Blamo Jr. was near that one, but couldn't do anything with it. Now here's an opportunity for him on the breakaway. Puts it over to Sirion. Sirion plays it back to Alchin. Alchin sets up the shot and just misses. Great save there by the Jersey Blues. Hunter Alchin had time, space, almost used all of those things to his advantage for a goal. Just missed. Once again, Hunter Alchin missed an opportunity at goal there. 45 seconds separating these two teams from the end of this game. Could be a long 45 seconds the way things are going here for the Jersey Blues. Good save there on the cross attempt. Jersey Blues just want to hold things out. Hold on to this ball for the final 30 seconds. Or maybe they're looking for a goal here in the final 30 seconds. They got an opportunity, or they did before Tongwa shut the door. And I think that's the last time the Knights are going to have to shut the door, is now with 10 seconds left. They have the ball, the momentum, and they're about to walk away with another W here in the early part of this season. The early part of this season is ending, and we're now getting into the middle to later stages of the season. And this is where you really want to start building momentum towards crunch time. And this is a momentum-building win here for the Knights. Final score, 3-0 in favor of your Knights. I'm Aaron Thomas. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We'll talk to you next weekend. Bye.